Hi friends, hope you're whelmed. My name's Jess, and to tell you the truth, I don't really have an opinion on creature collectors since the last one I actually obsessively played was one of the old Monster Rancher titles. But like any cozy gamer in this economy, I love a good sale, and Steam's Creature Collector Fest is currently on until Monday, the 19th of May, 2025. Another truth? I'm only 50% sure I like farming sims. I love Fields of Mystria, but most of the time when I try out a new farming sim, especially one that's called the Stardew Valley of whatever audience it's seeking to capture, I'm just sort of underwhelmed. It takes a lot to get me invested in a farming sim, and while I'd say the cast of characters is the core ingredient that makes your run-of-the-mill farming sim into a standout, it also depends on mechanics, world building, lore, and to a lesser extent, aesthetics. In the past, I've found myself drawn to farming sims that add a little something extra. Ones that allow you to play as a bunny or a witch, or even allow you the freedom to choose who and what you are in a fantastical world brimming with magic. Enter Ova Magica, an indie creature collector farming sim that blends the best of both worlds. It's also still in early access, and even after playing through the demo, I was really impressed with just how much content the game offers right now. Sure, you'll start off inheriting your mother's rundown farm. Don't worry, she's alive and well, she just prefers city living to Clover Town. She tasks you to fix up the family farm, probably feeling guilt from her own parents and kicking the generational trauma can down to the next in line. But as soon as you step off the train, you're introduced to the thing that sets Clover Town apart. Every resident has at least one blob. Those adorable, versatile creatures that look kind of like squishmallows are actually battling blobs, engaging in a turn-based combat system that's both familiar for fans of the mainline Pokemon games and easy to learn for players who don't have any experience with the monster taming genre at all. There are 3 blob types: Magma, Storm, and Forest. They each have their own benefits and drawbacks, but the important key to remember is Magma is strong against Forest, Forest is strong against Storm, and Storm is strong against Magma. I really wasn't sure how I'd feel about the battle system since I prefer when games have no combat at all, but even on normal mode, the turn-based mechanics were pretty entertaining. I say this as somebody who, over the course of 5 hours, lost a lot of battles, even to a trio of mean children, which was probably the lowlight of my career as a blob trainer. Don't worry, if Blob v Blob isn't your thing, you can adjust the settings to make the battles a breeze, which will definitely allow you to get more farming time in and work on befriending NPCs. Also, if you're looking at my screen and cringing against the saturation, there's a setting to turn that down. I just honestly love the bright colors. The NPCs are definitely one of my favorite parts of the game because, yeah, there are some familiar anime tropes in here when it comes to the befriendable characters. From the arrogant rival to the brave sailor with a serious case of wanderlust to the frail but sweet rich girl with a heart of gold who dreams of real friendship and adventure. But they're also well-written and charming, and each time you ask to battle them, your friendship will increase even if you lose. But each time you win, they give you stuff, so it's a win-win. Again, Ova Magica is in early access, so hard events are capped at level 5 for now, and marriage is planned for later in the roadmap. And it's not the tropes they use, it's how they use them. You guys know I love Potion Permit. It was one of my very first cozy game experiences. But the concept of Rue, the elderly mayor's sick daughter, being a romance candidate gave me the ick because despite the fact that she was an adult, she spoke and behaved like a child. I genuinely thought she was one, until I realized otherwise. Her behavior put her squarely on the level of Russo and Laura, which is not a good look, to put it mildly. She was the first character I thought of when I met Lazuli, a chronically ill young woman in Ova Magica, because the difference between them was so striking. Lazuli may be a little bit sheltered, but she acts her age. Becoming her friend is natural since she acts like a peer who just so happens to have health challenges, and it's implied that getting to know the player, even in a platonic way, will cheer her up as she isn't able to socialize much. This makes sense since her peers in town are busy all day, whether they're working or training their blobs or doing something else around town. But the process of getting to know the residents of Clover Town, at least to me, feels organic and fun. I'm actually motivated to befriend them and unlock the available heart events, which is a nice change because usually I get bored of farming sims and the characters before I've gotten to know them well enough to unlock the first heart event. The characters are also effortlessly woven into the story, even the ones you can't romance. There's so much to do and see. After 5 hours and a couple of in-game seasons, I feel like I barely scratched the surface. Despite really enjoying the farming mechanics, I was so busy leveling up my blob team that I barely grew any crops. The mines are marked pretty clearly on the map, but I still haven't made my way over there since I get sidetracked with other things so easily. I haven't explored the first blob world or opened the museum or cooked, despite the numerous recipes for sale, or even built a blob barn, which means I haven't gotten to try out the breeding system or figuring out which blobs would be best suited as helping hands around the farm. All my energy went towards building a house and learning how to play it first, but now I just earned my first qualifying point to enter the Blob League. I'm having so much fun clearing my land, attending festivals, and trying to take care of my blobs that I know I'll get to all this stuff when I want to. It's never overwhelming because it waits for you to get there, and I really recommend it for cozy gamers because of just how relaxed it is, with so many surprises waiting to be explored. I have so much more to learn about Ova Magica, particularly blob care. They eat what your human character eats, and their enrichment toys are expensive, so learn from my mistakes and befriend Carnelian, the merchant, as soon as you can. He's a total snob, but he'll bring you a shipping box, which will allow you to actually make money. And you can sell pretty much everything. Stuff you forage, your battle winnings, even blob eggs. But once you have the coin, you can buy your blob's toys and blueprints for more advanced options. Every 3 days, at least I think that's the interval, someone correct me if I'm wrong, blobs will want something new. I don't have a basketball or the other toy my blobs want, so we're going to be sticking with tennis for now. What really makes Ova Magica shine is that it's a finely crafted love letter to the things it reminds you of. It nurtures its farming sim audience while embracing the Pokemon masters and Digi-destined and creature collectors with open arms. I was always pretty obsessed with the monster care gameplay loop in the Monster Rancher games I either played or watched other people play, and part of the joy in Ova Magica feels like it's giving some of that back, which makes my inner child very happy. Honestly, I really recommend this. I think it's the most fun I've had with a cozy game since I got hooked on Ranch of Rivershine, and given that I still talk about that game and its merits, I'm really happy that Ova Magica can reach those same highs when I'm in the mood for something less equestrian. Oh, I've been so busy babbling, I haven't even told you about the character creation. I think it's pretty plentiful for what it is. You can choose either a male or female base model, though how you style them is completely your choice. There are lots of hair options and a decent offering of starter clothing, including glasses. But don't worry, as you get further into the game, you can purchase some from the in-game vendors as well. If you've been on the fence about buying the game, there's a demo available on Steam. I'm not sure if this free blob showed up because I tried the demo or because I bought an early access, but we love a dev that takes care of their community with useful virtual gifts in the mail. I would love to hear about your experience playing Ova Magica down in the comments. Remember that it's 20% off until Monday as part of the Creature Collector Fest, and I'll leave a link down below so you can check it out for yourself. If you made it this far, thanks so much. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and hit the bell icon for more videos like this. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.